Okay, so the first thing we have to do for laksa is we have to get 2 liters of water in a pot. And I'm using bluefish today. It's a nice oily fish. It has a strong flavor. I thought this would be really good. When I was in Malaysia, we used sardines, like large sardines, and that worked very well. And then I'm going to put in 2 tamarind apples. Tamarind apples, you can get them in Malaysia. If you can't use tamarind apples, then just substitute with some tamarind paste like this, and you just dilute it with a little bit of hot water. So I'm going to bring this up to a simmer, and this is going to create the base of the stock, and it's done when the fish is cooked. So now we're going to make the spice mixture, and I want to go over some of these really unique ingredients before we start. So for the spice mixture, normally, this is the recipe I'm using, by the way. When I was in Malaysia, I was in Penang, and I went to a cooking class, and the woman's name is Nazlina. I'll leave her link down below, and I bought some of her recipes, but we made this, and it was amazing. Normally, you should use 5 large fresh chilies, and I remember that they were red, but I couldn't get that here. And I remember that they were mild. They were not like spicy. So I just got red bell pepper. I know, it's very sad. So, and I'm using 2 because when she said large, they were pretty large, but they were like this size, you know. So I figured if I use 2, that's kind of a good equivalent. And she used a mortar and pestle. You can use that. I'm going to use like a little food processor just because it's a little quicker today. I think mortar and pestle works better. She also used some dry chilies, which I also don't have. So instead I'm going to use chili paste. I think this is good. There's a nice amount of heat, and I think that will make it taste pretty good. That was probably just about a tablespoon. Belechan. So belechan is dried shrimp paste, and let me show you. I ordered this from the internet. I think it's called like asianfoodmarket.com or Asian Market. I'll find the link and I'll post it below in the description box. I had no problem ordering it. It came really fast. This was probably about, I think I spent like $8 on it at the most with shipping, so it wasn't that bad. And so it comes in a block form. Comes wrapped up like this. Okay, and you have to cut it. So I cut it into this piece. This is like a rectangle. This is about 1.5 inches by 1 inch. And what we're going to do is we're going to just toast this a little bit over the stove. So when you toast it, it sort of just like opens up the flavors again. Supposedly makes a pretty big difference. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, I think that's enough for me. I could smell it. It smells, in my opinion, pretty nice. I'm sure to a lot of Westerners, you would not like this smell. Yeah, it smells like fish sauce. Like if you're used to smelling dried shrimp or shrimp paste or fish sauce, then you'll be okay with this. Next thing we need is fresh turmeric, and she usually uses just like a little piece of fresh turmeric. I don't have fresh turmeric, so I'm going to use dried turmeric. Okay, this is dried turmeric powder. So I'm just going to use about like a teaspoon, nothing crazy. All right, nice and easy. And she also usually uses fresh galangal, and I don't have fresh galangal, unfortunately. I love galangal, but I do have dried galangal. Okay, so it looks like this. I got this in Taiwan. There was a little area in Taichung City where there was like Vietnamese and Thai population, and they sold this there. So dried galangal. You can get this on the internet for sure, probably at the same place that I got this, or you can, if you live in a city, I'm sure you can find it there. This is supposed to be ground up. Since I can't grind this because it's dried, I'm actually going to just add it into the pot and let it cook and then remove it before serving. Okay, fresh lemongrass, luckily, you can find pretty easily in Long Island, surprisingly. So it looks like this. This is a stalk of it. We're just going to use the bottom part because that's the most tender, about 1.5 inches. Just, try to cut it up into little pieces. Grind easily. We're going to use 4 cloves of garlic. You can either use shallots. I would use shallots if I were you. I was just kind of on a budget and I had onions and I wanted to use what I had. I'm using one, I would say medium-sized onion, and I'm going to puree this in increments because my blender is really small. One hot chili. I got this in Woodside, Queens. This is like pretty hot little green chilies, so I'm gonna add one of these just for good measure for me because I like it spicy, so that's kind of optional. And I'm gonna puree this. All of this is gonna get pureed too. Like I said, I'll put the measurements below, but I just wanted to kind of go over some of these ingredients with you. Okay, I just wanted to show you, this is the stock. I removed the fish, I'm setting it aside, took out the tamarind apples because you don't want it to be too sour. Tasted, we didn't add any salt yet. So right now it's just like a nice fishy, slightly sour broth. And that's what we want. So, you know, that's just kind of the way it goes. So, Asam Laksa it's called, or like sour laksa. This is a Penang dish. It's from Penang. It's pretty popular in Georgetown. It is full flavor. It's fishy, it's spicy, it's fresh, it's aromatic. If you are, you know, not used to strong flavors, this is probably not going to be your thing. But I love it, and I was really excited to make this. Because I thought it would be interesting trying to interpret it and use what ingredients that I could find. You know, it's not fully authentic because I can't find all the ingredients that would make it authentic. But I'm just working with what I have, and I still really enjoy making it. And I forgot something really important. I forgot to add the ginger. Now, use fresh ginger. Normally I could find fresh ginger here. Today I went to 2 places and both places didn't have it. It was very depressing for me, but I had to resort to this, which is ginger paste in tube form. I think it should be fine. It's just, all it is ginger and then preservatives, which I don't really prefer to use. It's supposed to be like, if you're using the fresh ginger, then just use like, you know, like 1 knob, like 1 chunk of ginger, and like puree it with everything. I'm just gonna prepare the tamarind paste liquid. I'm just getting everything prepared first, and then that way we can throw everything all together. Okay, so it looks like black tar. It looks like a really thick molasses or black tar. Okay, and it smells similar to molasses. Very, a little bit bitter, sour, fruity. I'm just diluting it in some hot water. This is 3/4 cup, or 200 milliliters. So tamarind is a fruit, and it kind of looks like, let's see, it kind of looks like a giant green bean, but it's dark brown, and you open it and you can take like the little tamarind fruit out and you can eat it, and it tastes really, really delicious. But this is like a condensed version, and when it's condensed it becomes very sour. You could substitute lime juice, vinegar, but you know, this has like a fruity quality and like a different kind of taste. So if you can find it, use it. You know, it's a little bit more common nowadays. You could definitely get it on the internet. Like I've gotten this. I just want to show you that I prepared the garnishes and finishing touches. So now at this point, everything is prepared. It's just a matter of cooking everything, putting everything together. So they usually add mint and also Vietnamese mint, which is very different from what you've probably tried in the United States. I can't find Vietnamese mint, so what I decided to do was I decided to go with cilantro or coriander because I personally love cilantro. It's not similar. They're not similar in flavor. It's just I wanted to have the variety of 2 different herbs, so that's why I chose coriander. I think it's fresh. I think it goes really well with Asian ingredients, but if you can find Vietnamese mint, then do that. So this is regular mint here, or like what we use in the United States. And then this is cilantro. They're both just 2 handfuls. That's gonna go into the soup while it's boiling. And then the rest is kind of garnishes that you would put on top of your soup. So what I chose is, sliced cucumber. There's no measurement for this. It's really a matter of how much you want on top of your soup bowl. Here, I just diced up one hot green chili. This is sliced pineapple. I think this is a really nice addition. I have some lime wedges here. And then also what they put on there, and it's famous there, and it's kind of like the main star of Asam Laksa. And it's very unfortunate that I can't find it. And I don't know a good substitute for it. It's torch ginger, or torch flower ginger in English, or torch ginger bud. There's a lot of different names for it. I think in Malay, Bunga Kantan, okay. It is amazing. It's beautiful. It's this gorgeous pink flower. It almost looks like a lotus flower, if you can imagine a lotus flower closed like a tulip, and you slice it finely and you can eat it fresh like that. It kind of tastes similar to ginger root that you're used to, but it's a lot more mild and fragrant, and it's just absolutely amazing. I really can't find it here. Maybe it's in New York City. If anyone has seen it in New York City, please let me know. So our stock is at a boil. Here, everything's prepared like I showed you before, so we're ready to go. So remember, I have dried galangal, so I'm going to add that to the stock. And normally, if it was fresh, you would add it to this paste. So I'm adding this spice paste that I made into the stock. Okay. She added the fish during this point, but I actually like chunks of fish, so I'm probably just going to add like maybe like this much of the fish, and then that way Dom and I can have some chunks of the fish in our soup, which I like, because this is going to kind of like fall apart. And then you also add tamarind juice at this point. This is the 3/4 cup of the water and a tablespoon of the tamarind paste. And I'm only going to use half of it because I want to just adjust accordingly. Okay. And I'm going to add a good amount of salt. I'm going to add a pinch of sugar. It smells really good right now. Give it a stir. You got to bring this up to a boil, and we're just going to let this simmer at the boil for probably just like about 10 minutes. It doesn't need a long time. And then I'll show you. I added the rest of the tamarind juice. I feel like it needed it. I added a lot of salt. A few pinches of sugar. And now at this point I'm going to add the fresh herbs. This is the mint and cilantro. If you can find the Vietnamese mint, use that instead of cilantro. Okay. I'm going to add just like a few of these chilies, and then I'll add the rest to the top. We also cooked some noodles. Usually they use these thick noodles similar to udon, so if you can get the Japanese udon noodles, use those instead. But today I'm just using rice vermicelli. I'm going to add in the fish, the rest of the fish, to kind of heat it through. Ooh, the mint really pulls it together. It really does. You know, like if it's not sour enough, you can add fresh lime juice. I'm going to add lime juice to the top. It's just a balance of sweet and sour and salty, so just try your best to balance that to your liking. Okay, so we'll get this plated up. Okay, so we got the fish chunks on there. Just going to pour some hot broth over it. We got quite a lot of noodles in there. We probably didn't need all those noodles. It's a little excessive. And I'm going for some cucumber, a few chilies, some pineapple. Some people do like egg, soft-boiled egg, but you know, it's just a weeknight meal for me, so I don't really need all that. Okay, and that is my Asam Laksa. Awesome! Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. A little bit more lime juice. Okay. I'm pretty excited. I think we added a little bit too many noodles, but that's okay. Alright, let's try the broth with the fish first. I could have made it slightly more sour, and it's not the same, but it's close. So, but I'm happy with it overall. It is really, really delicious. It's a work in progress, but I'm still proud that I was able to do it. So give this recipe a try. Let me know how it turns out. And until next time, bye.